Okay, so we are going to read uh, 9 and 10, I think, is where we're at. So here we go. So as a reminder, God promised, and He says He is never changing and He cannot lie. Remember, God is truth. So what He says, the Word is the living Word. The Word is the Word of God. And He doesn't change. He says that. So as a reminder, He said at the end of 8, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. While this earth exists. So we know that eventually it's not going to exist, right? We know that. So God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply. Okay, so now we had Adam and Eve, right? The first two people God created. And then I also believe that sometimes when He's referring to Adam throughout the Bible and Eve, that He's referring to man in general. But maybe I'm wrong. As we read, I may change my mind again. Something made me think that a long time ago when I read the Bible before. But we know that He created mankind, right? So now, if everything on the earth has died, then a lot of people say we came from Noah, which of course Noah is in the genealogy of Adam and Eve. It's straight down from the beginning. But regardless. So that would mean everybody came from Noah. But I believe that God created more people, right? So God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be on every beast of the earth, on every bird of the air, and all that move on the earth, and all the fish of the sea. They are given into your hand. So the Noah and his family, they were rulers over these animals. The animals were afraid of them. And they weren't going to eat them up or kill them or anything. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. So here it says, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. I have given you all things, even as the green herbs. But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood. So you're not supposed to eat things that are living, right? Surely your lifeblood, I will demand a reckoning. Surely for your lifeblood, I will demand a reckoning. From the hand of every beast I will require, and from the hand of man. From the hand of man, every man's brother, I will require the life of man. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed. For the image of God He made man. And as for you, be fruitful and multiply. Bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply in it. All right, so let's read this again because that's a little confusing, wasn't it? So first of all, we know that every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. So we are allowed to eat the moving things on the planet. And people all over the world eat all kinds of different things. But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood. So this thing about drinking blood or eating blood or whatever, well, we're actually not supposed to do that. It says it in the Bible. Surely for your lifeblood, I will demand a reckoning. From the hand of every beast I will require it, and from the hand of man. So if someone is killed by a beast or man, he will demand reckoning. He says, if someone kills man, right, because man was made in God's image, from the hand of every man's brother, I will require the life of man. From the hand of the hand of man. From the hand of every man's brother, I will require the life of man. So he's saying, and then he says, whoever sheds man's blood, right? From the hand of every man's brother, I will require the life of man. So from every man and his brother, from every man's brother, he will require the life of man. We aren't supposed to kill each other. So then he tells us that if we shed blood, by man his blood shall be shed. If we kill, then we will be killed by man. Then God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, and this is the Old Testament, right? This is the Old Testament book. God says he's never changing. Then God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him. And by the way, don't forget, the first 3 books of the Old Testament are called the Law. And this was when God was still with man, remember? And he was with Noah and Noah's family. He spoke to Noah. Then God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, and as for me, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the cattle, and every beast of the earth with you, of all that go out of the ark, every beast of the earth. Thus I establish my covenant with you. Never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of the flood. Never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth. So he says there's never again going to be a flood that covers the entire earth. And God said, this is the sign of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. Perpetual is, it's just easier for me to try to, I'm not the smartest person. Perpetual. It means following and following and following and following back. Continuing or enduring forever. Everlasting. Perpetual generations. I set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. It shall be when I bring a cloud over the earth that the rainbow shall not be seen in the cloud. No, that the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. The waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. And he says it's a reminder to him, right? So this is what the rainbow, it's a reminder to God that he will not destroy us again with a great flood. And apparently he needs this reminder because I think he already knows that the earth is going to turn to sin again. The people of the earth are going to turn to sin again. The rainbow shall be in the cloud. And remember, he said he did it for our own good. That's how sinful people are. The rainbow shall be in the cloud, and I will look on it to remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. And God said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. So it's not just us. He's established this with all flesh, these perpetual generations, right? Now the sons of Noah who went out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. These 3 were the sons of Noah, and from these the whole earth was populated. And Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. Then he drank of the wine and was drunk and became uncovered in his tent. So he was naked in his tent. So God says it, that these three were the sons, and they populated the whole earth. But he doesn't mention the women. So I still believe that he created other women, and but maybe I'm wrong. As I read, I may be wrong, but he doesn't mention the women. But he does say that they populated the whole entire earth, right? So then why are there blacks, and why are there Chinese, and why are there Hispanics, right? Well, I think that all happened with Babylon, but we're going to continue to read. But it could have been that if it's what I think it is, it could have been. Now that I'm thinking about it, I guess he could have created a bunch of different women back then, of different colors and all these things, right? Hair and eyes and everything, because obviously there are a bunch of different colors that these men, because back then people were living for hundreds of years. I think it's going to tell us how old they live in a little while. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their shoulders, and went backward and covered the nakedness of their fathers. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. So Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, he shall be to his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. Because I guess he felt like that was dishonorable to his father, and he should have covered him and not said anything to anyone. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. So that's a really long time, huh? But actually, kind of it's not. Because like God said, the lifespan of people was going to drop to 120. Which it did keep dropping. And in some areas, it's very low. It's all the way down to, God bless them, in those areas where they're always killing their people. And they won't allow them. They keep taking all the money, and they won't get them any medicine or any decent care. Anyways, look at over here in the United States and on the West. They're killing babies in the womb. They don't even get a year. Very sad. Anyways, and we are going to pay for that. Doesn't go away. So that was 8 and 9. So I'm going to stop. Wait, 7, 8. No, I think I got to do 9 and 10, don't I? Yeah, 9 and 10. Oh, yeah, sorry. Now, this is the genealogy of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan were Elijah, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dudanim. From these, the coastland peoples of the Gentiles were separated into their lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families, and to their nations. Oh, wow. Okay, so I forgot about this. So he said, from these, the coastland peoples of the Gentiles were separated into their lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families, into their nations. So they were all separated, and they had different languages. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Reama, and Sabteka. Gosh, oh my gosh, this is going to be bad. You know I can't pronounce anything. It's going to be bad. And the sons of Reama were Sheba and Dedan. Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Calah, and Racin between Nineveh and Calah. That is the principal city. This is why I think that more people were created. I guess women, because he says that we all came from these people, and then they separated out into the different nations, right? And how many sons were that? Let's see, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavon, Tubal, Meshach, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer were, that's 7. Ashkenaz, Rephath, and Togar, that's 10. And the sons of Japheth were Elisha and 14. 14, and then they went out and separated, right? And then, of course, they had all their sons. And they're not, normally having children with each other's relatives because they're all related. So, I mean, that's normally how it works on the earth, and that's why I still believe that God created more people, but it doesn't matter. It's just something that I think. Whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter. That's not required from God. And if he chooses to give me the wisdom to know for sure, that I think I know for sure, which I don't think I will ever believe that I know for sure. It doesn't make any sense to me that people are like, I'm positive about this. But anyways, that's what I think. That other women must have been created, and in order for these generations, right? And maybe other men were also created with that DNA, right? I mean, with that DNA from these people, because God says that nothing that has happened under the sun is nothing that hasn't happened, that hasn't been done before. We will read that. So I think that God, just like people are trying to create other people with DNA, I think they're messing with God there, and they're crazy, but he says there is nothing that hasn't been done. He knows it all. Okay, now, afterward, the families of the Canaanites were dispersed, and the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon as you go towards Gerar, as far as Gaza, then as you go towards Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim, as far as Lasha. These were the sons of Ham according to their families, according to their languages, in their lands and in their nations. And children were born also to Shem, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth the elder. The sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. And the sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, Gaither, and Mash. And remember that a lot of times in the olden days, they brought up the names of the children that they had with their wives, but when they had children with other people, those children's names weren't written as far as in the family's tree, right? But this is who God said their sons were, so this is what I believe. If they had more with other people and their names weren't written, well, I mean, they did populate the entire earth, so yeah. Can't write all those. To Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. So it says, in his days the earth was divided. Joktan begot Almodad, Sheleph, Hazarmaveth, Jirah, Hardoram, Uzal, Diklah, Ubal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan. Remember, they're always mentioning the sons. And their dwelling place was from Mesha as you go towards Saphar and the mountain of the east. These were the sons of Shem according to their families, according to their languages, in their lands, according to their nations. These were the families of the sons of Noah according to their generations in their nations, and from these nations were divided. And from these the nations were divided on the earth after the flood. So it was all divided after the flood. Very good, very good. But there comes more division in the Bible. But anyways. All right, so there we go. We're still reading and learning. I'm remembering stuff and changing my mind on stuff like I always do when I read the Bible, and like you will also, because it is the living word, and God gives you a little bit more wisdom and understanding each time you read the Bible. And he opens your eyes a little bit more, and he opens your ears a little bit more to hear what he is saying. And that's why we are reading it slowly through together. And then one of these days when you're reading it on your own, and if you look back on your mommy's lessons, you'll say, well, Mom, I think you were wrong about that. And that is no problem. Have a good day.